Are you aware that in the early 90s, an 11-year-old black girl from a poor family became the richest child in the whole of America? That's the incredible story of Sarah Rector, a name that the history books often overlook. How she rose from poverty to accumulate unimaginable wealth will astonish you, but what happened to her next is even more shocking. Sarah's newfound riches not only captured national attention but also brought confusion among white Americans who couldn't fathom how a black child could control such an immense wealth. The length they went to take control of her wealth and what happened to Sarah Rector after she rose to fame will leave you speechless. From legal manipulations to evil plots and how they finally burned down an entire city, Sarah Rector's story reveals a dark chapter of exploitation, racial tension, systematic racism, greed, and total disaster. Well, in this video, we are going to take you through that path of dark history of the black people that they kept away from the rest of the world. To understand Sarah's remarkable rise and the incredible event that followed, we must first unravel the origin of her story. Sarah Rector was born on March 1902 in Muskogee, Oklahoma, into a family that carried a weight of painful past. Her parents had been enslaved by Creek Nation, one of the Native American tribes forcibly relocated to Oklahoma during the infamous Trail of Tears. After the Civil War and the abolition of slavery in 1866, the U.S. government declared Sarah's parents freedmen, granting them citizenship within the Creek Nation. But freedom was not synonymous with opportunity. By the late 19th century, laws like Deus General Allotment Act of 1887 and the Curtis Act of 1898 divided Creek tribes' land among members, stripping millions of acres from Native Americans and freedmen alike. Sarah, a descendant of freedmen, was entitled to 160 acres of land when she was just a toddler. However, this land was deemed worthless, rocky, infertile, and unsuitable for farming. The government reserved prime agricultural lands for white settlers, relegating freedmen and Native Americans to what they considered scraps. For Sarah's family, a plot of land in Oklahoma was more a burden than a blessing. Her father, Joseph Rector, could barely afford the property taxes on the land. Unknowingly to them, beneath the rocky soil lays a secret that would forever change their fate. In 1911, Joseph Rector, desperate to relieve the family's financial burden, leased Sarah's land to the Standard Oil Company. It seemed like a routine decision among black Americans to avoid losing their property. But 2 years after, in 1913, an independent driller named B.B. Jones struck oil on Sarah's land. A massive gush erupted, producing tens of thousands of barrels a day. By the time Sarah was 11 years old, she was earning more than $300 a day in royalties, equivalent to $10,000 today. Her sudden wealth transformed her life overnight, making her a media sensation. Headlines proclaimed her richest black girl in America. But the newfound fortune came with complications that no child should have to face. Oklahoma law at the time dictated that any child who was a citizen of Indian Territory and acquired a significant wealth must have a court-appointed guardian. Despite having living parents, Sarah was no exception. Because she was black, the court assigned a white guardian, T.J. Porter, a local businessman known to Rector's family. This decision sparked outrage in African American community. Rumors began to circulate that Sarah's wealth was being mismanaged and that her living condition remained shockingly poor despite her income. The Chicago Defender, an influential black newspaper at the time, lodged an investigation revealing allegations that Sarah and her family were still living in a poor apartment. Even as Sarah's income soared at an astonishing $11,500 in October 1913, more than the presidential annual salary, questions arose about how much of it was actually benefiting her. Concerned by the reports, prominent figures like W.E.B. Du Bois and the NAACP took up her case, demanding transparency and fairness. As Sarah's fame grew, so did the dangers surrounding her. Her wealth attracted opportunists and criminals alike. In one incident, a group of white individuals plotted to kidnap Sarah and hold her for ransom. Unfortunately, their plans was thwarted. Despite these challenges, the advocacy of Du Bois and others led to improvement in Sarah's life. By 1914, she and her family has moved into a larger home. Sarah began attending school in Taft, Oklahoma. By the time Sarah turned 18, she had become a millionaire many times over. Her wealth allowed her to enjoy luxuries that were unimaginable for people of her time, especially African Americans living under Jim Crow's law. Her newfound status also brought unusual challenges. Sarah received numerous marriage proposals, including from much older men who were interested in her fortune than her companionship. Sarah played a significant role in the building and uplifting Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She invested heavily in the thriving district, using her wealth to support Black-owned businesses and strengthen the community's economic foundation. Her financial contributions helped fuel the district's prosperity, making Black Wall Street one of the most vibrant and successful Black communities in the United States during the early 20th century. However, this prosperity was met with jealousy and hostility from white supremacists. On the night of May 31, 1921, a mob of white men descended upon Black Wall Street, burning it to the ground. Homes, businesses, and lives were destroyed in a brutal act of racial violence. Sarah Rector's investments, along with the hope and dreams of many Black families, were reduced to ashes. The Wall Street crash significantly impacted her investment, and a car dealership she owned with her husband went bankrupt. Despite this setback, Sarah remained a symbol of success and resilience. She continued to live comfortably in Kansas City, enjoying the wealth she had carefully managed after gaining control of her finance. On July 22, 1967, Sarah Rector passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage at the age of 65. She was buried in Taft Cemetery near her hometown. Her story, however, continued to captivate historians and readers alike. Sarah Rector's journey from an impoverished child to one of the wealthiest African Americans of her time is a testament to resilience in the face of extraordinary circumstances. Her life revealed not only the possibility of overcoming adversity, but also the systematic challenges faced by the Black Americans during an era of profound racial inequality.